In the colorful world of anime, there always exist characters with legendary golden hair, possessing boundless power, along with a mysterious handsome appearance. Recently, we have welcomed another sorcerer with similar characteristics, but perhaps the most carefree among those of his kind to date. I'm sure you know who I'm referring to, don't you? That's none other than Gojo Satoru, a product born when heaven mixed a bit of confidence, a bit of arrogance, a bit of nonchalance, along with handsome looks and unrivaled power. That's all we know about the slippery and mischievous sorcerer. But that's just the surface. Let's delve deeper into the profile of this world's strongest sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen with Wibu Time. Warning: the video will contain spoiler details. Please consider carefully before watching. Although not much is known about Gojo Satoru's childhood, he had an extremely fiery and passionate upbringing. Born on December 7, 1989, the arrival of Gojo Satoru disrupted the balance of power, shaking the world of sorcery. From birth, Satoru possessed distinctive platinum white hair, along with a pair of transparent green eyes, one of the rarest sorcery eye techniques that can only be inherited by the successor of the Gojo clan. Satoru became the only individual born into the Gojo clan in 400 years to possess the transparent eye. Because the nature of the transparent eye allows for only one successor to exist and wield its power, Satoru's existence became incredibly significant and rare. The power he possessed caused concerns about his influence and the future of the Gojo clan, leading to bounties being placed on his head from the moment he was just an infant, attracting the attention of many bounty hunters until now. With a bounty on his head like that, coupled with having to live in a world where every square meter of land has about 3 or 4 sorcerers or cursed users, it must have been really difficult for a child like Satoru, right? Unfortunately, it wasn't like that at all. It seems that his absolute power helped him live quite comfortably until he grew up and became a student at Tokyo Jujutsu High School. During his time as a student at Tokyo Jujutsu High School, Satoru also met and befriended one of the important antagonists of the series, Geto Shugure. They were very close friends, but after many events, the friendship between Geto and Satoru gradually diverged as each had different ideas and chose completely different paths. Geto's hatred towards ordinary people, those without the ability to use jujitsu or sorcery, led to a massacre in a village caused by his own hands. Not only that, he also personally killed his parents and remaining family members. To Geto, those who are not sorcerers or cursed users are nothing but ignorant, disgusting, and trash. To the extent that he had to spray disinfectant to rid himself of the stench, contamination of the ignorant. Their existence not only brings suffering upon themselves, but also brings chaos and disorder to society, so killing them is just a liberation from this disaster and brings benefits to the world. In his eyes, these ignorant people only serve 2 purposes. One is to collect money, profit. The other is to bring curses upon him. Those who cannot meet the needs or fulfill the obligations to Geto, he is willing to let them die by the hands of curses, or even willing to kill them himself. Geto's sick thoughts and views are completely opposite to Satoru's. It was precisely after the massacre that the two became sworn enemies. But unfortunately, Satoru at that time could not bring himself to kill Geto even though they faced each other. Later on, after Satoru graduated and became a teacher at Tokyo Jujutsu High School, serving as a class advisor, there was a special student named Yuta Okatsu. The uniqueness of this student attracted the attention of Geto, and once again, Satoru found himself confronting Geto. But this time, Geto couldn't leave unscathed. You can watch the movie Chapter 0 or read the manga to learn more about Yuta Okatsu and the events between Satoru and Geto. Returning to the current timeline of the series, Satoru continues to work as a teacher at Tokyo Jujutsu High School and has encountered our main protagonist, Itadori Yuji, a person possessing immense power and also the vessel for the resurrection of the King of Curses, Sukuna. Satoru sees the potential in Yuji and persuades him to become a student at Tokyo Jujutsu High School, with Satoru as the homeroom teacher of the new first-year group consisting of Megumi, Nobara, and Yuji. This sets off the events of Season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. With a tall and slender figure, Satoru is considered one of the handsome and attractive characters. Generally, he easily tops the list of preferences for many. He has white hair that is often styled upwards, but Gojo lets it fall down when he wears more casual attire. Gojo has bright blue eyes, but they are usually obscured by his characteristic black blindfold or a pair of black sunglasses. While working, Satoru wears a high-necked black coat, paired with dark pants and boots. He has various casual outfits, often including long-sleeved shirts and slacks. Satoru has a complex personality. He is often seen as easygoing and cheerful towards students, friendly colleagues, and friends. However, he can be extremely cold and even cruel towards those who govern the sorcerer world. An example is his blatant lack of respect for Principal Gakuganji. Satoru is extremely confident in his abilities and reputation as a potential sorcerer, always believing himself to be unbeatable, a solitary sovereign. His opinions often only extend to evaluating others' strengths, but he displays indifference towards anyone considered weak. Moreover, heavily influenced by his own desire for power, Satoru is also very arrogant. He firmly believes that he is the strongest person in the world. And in reality, that's true. Like when he declared in his battle with Fushiguro Toji, "Throughout heaven and earth, only I am honored." This is further evidenced when he is tasked with protecting Amini Riko, one of the few, weak, individuals he truly has sympathy for. However, any sympathy for her death is quickly dismissed by his excessive arrogance after mastering his reversal red technique in the subsequent battle against Toji. In intense battles, Satoru sometimes falls into a state of frenzy, driven by his determination to win and undeniable evidence that he alone is the strongest. Satoru's fighting style is extremely brutal, characterized by ferocious attacks that instill a sense of domination and absolute dominance, while displaying arrogance before opponents. In moments of chaotic frenzy, Satoru can easily become ruthless, prioritizing the destruction of his enemies over saving the innocent, as he believes sacrifices are inevitable. However, this only occurs with those killed by enemies. Otherwise, Satoru will not cause any lasting harm to those around him or kill innocent people for advantage. However, despite his arrogance and strength, Satoru is extremely compassionate compared to what we know. After defeating Toji, Satoru retrieves Riko's body with a pained expression. Although the triumphant victory momentarily overshadows all other encounters, Satoru still feels sorrow for Riko's death. He decides to kill all the Zenin clan members who laughed at Riko's death. But at this point, Geto still retains his ego, preventing Satoru from doing anything foolish or reckless. However, the betrayal of his only friend once again plunges Satoru into panic and shock when Geto becomes a cold-blooded killer demon. Although he tried to persuade Geto to turn back, Satoru completely failed and had to accept the truth that he had lost his closest friend, the only one who could truly match him. For Satoru, the endgame goal of his life is to reform the entire sorcerer world from the ground up through education. He hopes to nurture a new generation of young sorcerers with power equal to his own. And now comes the most exciting part of this video, which is the power of our handsome sorcerer. Bearing the title of an elite sorcerer, perhaps he is the only one truly worthy of his elite status when Satoru himself is considered the strongest entity in the world of sorcerers. He possesses an almost infinite amount of cursed energy along with extremely dangerous skills, capable of annihilating any opponent who dares to stand in his way. It might seem excessive for a formidable character, but unfortunately, the answer is no. When the author had to add to him a pair of extremely rare six eyes, it boosted his strength by 10,000%, turning him into the so-called unrivaled individual among the sorcerers appearing in this series up to the current time. Coming from the powerful Gojo clan of the three great families, Satoru inherits the technique known as Unlimited Void, a legendary skill only known to those belonging to the Gojo clan. This technique turns the concept of infinity into reality, allowing the user to manipulate and distort space at will. Although any member of the Gojo clan can potentially attain this technique, only those who possess the six eyes can truly master the power of the Unlimited Void. So what exactly are the six eyes? How terrifying is its power for the owner? As mentioned above, those who possess the six eyes are extremely rare. Not everyone has this chance. Therefore, its value and power are formidable, not to mention its reputation throughout the series, like that Sharingan guy. The whole clan is dead, but you still see Sharingan everywhere. At this point, it might trigger a bit, but you can compare the rarity of the six eyes with the Rinnegan. Although the conditions to attain the Rinnegan are extremely difficult, at least the characters in the story know clearly how to achieve it. In contrast, for the six eyes, until now the only way is to spin the gacha and get a super rare guy like Satoru. For example, if you're lucky, you'll have it. Otherwise, just wait and give birth until it comes. It could take a few hundred years, or even more. As for comparing the power between the six eyes and Rinnegan or Sharingan, I'll leave it for you guys to argue in the comments section below. Back to the main issue. The six eyes allow the owner to have a wide-ranging perception with the brain's tremendous processing power. From there, they can accurately utilize the subtle power of the limitless void to the atomic level. Each limitless void technique requires complex manipulation skills of cursed energy. Therefore, to turn the six eyes into a skill, it is mandatory to pair them with the limitless void to maximize potential. The mental power of the six eyes can turn a moment in reality into over a minute in the user's mind. This works in parallel with perfecting the user's vision, allowing them to instantly analyze and calculate the position of everything within sight. A sorcerer possessing the six eyes can see everything several kilometers away, easily distinguishing different objects within their wide range. The six eyes allow users to see cursed energy in extreme detail, enabling them to read the techniques of others. Additionally, the six eyes can differentiate between various types of cursed abilities and help users identify a person based on it. The owner of the six eyes can use this pair of eyes to set up the limitless void ability automatically. This allows users to instantly read the trajectory of impending collisions, relying on factors such as mass, velocity, and shape, along with other factors by simultaneously using the six eyes to automate the calculation of the reverse technique. Users can keep their minds sharp even in the most stressful situations. However, even when using the reverse technique, the six eyes will easily make its users tired a bit faster, unless the eyes are covered again. The six eyes also allow the eyes of the owner to function like a high-resolution camera even when covered. Therefore, in the long run, they have to cover their eyes with dark fabric, black sunglasses, or bandages to reduce its side effects. This explains why most of the time we see Satoru with his eyes covered. Objects without cursed energy can be detected through the blindfold by reading the residual part and the flow of cursed energy moving around them. However, to use advanced limitless void techniques like hollow purple and unlimited void, the six eyes need to be fully released, allowing the user to harness their full power. Quite complex, isn't it? But that's not all, because we will go through the classic techniques of Satoru's limitless void together. First is the most basic state. Limitless void, infinity. Infinity is the fundamental state of the limitless void and is essentially the power of obstruction. The limitless void technique operates like convergent and divergent series in mathematics. Infinity is the convergence point of an infinite series. Anything approaching infinity slows down and never reaches its end. This is because the technique takes a finite space between two entities and divides it by an infinite number of times. In mathematics, no matter how many times it is divided, it will never become zero. Instead, the division leaves fractional units, so it will eventually become immeasurable to the naked eye. Limitless void brings this concept to reality. So anything trying to intrude into the divided void space will slow down to the point of almost stopping completely. The concept of real infinity relies on the paradoxical drug of Zeno's paradoxical motion. Here's the story of Achilles and the tortoise. It's actually a fairly lengthy and difficult concept to explain succinctly, so I encourage you to look up the paradox to understand it better. We can understand infinity through an example like this. Imagine you and Satoru lying on a numbered line with the teacher lying at number 0. The distance between 0 and 1 is the infinite range, protecting him from any intruders. As you move closer to position 0, the distance between you and 0 will naturally shorten. However, when reaching the milestone number 1, that's when you will encounter infinity. Although the brain perceives that you are approaching point zero, in reality, you are still just moving towards it and will never be able to touch the milestone zero because the finite space between 0 and 1 has been divided infinitely. So, even though your eyes may see yourself touching Satoru's position, in reality, you are only moving extremely slowly towards that position and will never be able to fully touch a hair of his. The invisible barrier created by infinity can be expanded to keep hazardous objects away from the practitioner or to control someone trying to disable this technique. Infinity can only be disabled by the practitioner or countered by deploying territory expansion and domain amplification. Specialized techniques wielded by experienced practitioners can also disrupt or neutralize infinity. Sounds mind-boggling, doesn't it? But we still have more to go, so please continue to accompany me slowly. The nature of unlimited void is similar to Albert Einstein's theory of the space-time singularity. We can hypothesize that the Gojo clan are all geniuses and understand Newton's law of universal gravitation along with Einstein's theory, coupled with the ability to manipulate the energy source of cursed techniques to create the skills. This is the reason why only those who possess the 6 eyes can fully exploit the 100% potential and power of unlimited void to the utmost. Additionally, users of the unlimited void also require an almost infinite source of cursed energy to deploy such complex skills. In simpler terms, besides Gojo Satoru, no one in the current timeline of the story has enough capability to perform these skills. The skills applied under the theory of relativity are as follows: limitless strengthening, curse technique lapse. Lapse is the direct transmigration technique of limitless, increasing the curse power generated from the technique and creating a suction force by amplifying the limitless and turning the seemingly impossible into reality. This forces the space around it to try to fill the void by pulling strongly towards the source of the aforementioned impossible phenomenon, creating a magnetic-like effect. To explain further, Satoru creates a point in space where mass is compressed to a small enough area to create a strong suction force. At this point, everything within the range of influence of the point will be sucked in. Anyone who is directly targeted by lapse will have their bodies explode, and their limbs will be immediately crushed. The user can use this effect on themselves to move at high speed or use a large amount of cursed energy to create a large attractive field to suck themselves in. Stronger variations of lapse can be used for faster-moving targets or larger areas, but the user cannot create a wide, attractive field close to themselves. Like the limitless technique in general, lapse is very difficult to use and requires precise manipulation of the user's cursed energy. This can make the user easily feel exhausted. Limitless reversal, curse technique reversal. Reversal is the transmigration technique of limitless, reversing the effect of the enhancement technique and turning the branching point of limitless into reality, creating thrust instead. By reversing the cursed energy back into the power of limitless, it creates a repelling effect rather than magnetism. This technique is embodied as a small red sphere, capable of instantly releasing a large explosion. The energy generated by reversal is at least twice that of strengthening. Similar to strengthening, reversal is the temporal symmetry of the theory of relativity. In simple terms, the formation of reversal is the inversion of strengthening's time. So instead of the inversion of the gravitational force, we have thrust. This falls under the theoretical realm of white holes. You can refer to various sources on the internet for further information. Generating enough energy for the reversal of the necessary cursed energy for reversal is extremely difficult, requiring a more complex manipulation of cursed energy than usual, making cursed technique reversal even more complex than direct transmigration technique. The user must multiply negative energy by negative energy to produce positive energy, a concept that is simple but proves extremely challenging in practice. The ability to use curse technique reversal is extremely complex for any sorcerer, even the most talented ones of the Gojo clan. Above are the 3 most basic techniques of unlimited void. But the power of unlimited void does not stop there. There are still expansion techniques, more powerful and advanced techniques, which means they are more complex than chains and rods. These techniques require strict training and practice, even for a prodigy of the Gojo clan who possesses the 6 eyes. Users of unlimited void can manipulate space to teleport instantly over long distances under certain conditions. The conditions for them to teleport themselves are still unknown, and they can teleport anyone they touch. A magic circle drawn can also be used by the user to teleport others. This teleportation, based on the assumptions in the theory of general relativity, means that Satoru is essentially opening a wormhole and exploiting it to move between different regions of space. But according to the assumptions in space, a wormhole can lead to another universe. The existence of wormholes spans multiple dimensions of time, allowing time travel by passing through wormholes. Will the Shrine Master recognize the potential of teleportation ability in the future? Perhaps we will see voyages to the past to change the future, or will we have Gojo Satoru in chaotic multiverses? And now for the most devastating techniques: Infinite Void Interference. Technique: Decay. Decay technique is a combination of both chains and rods, a secret skill that only a few in the Gojo clan have mastered. It represents both motion and reversal, a fusion of convergence and divergence, the friction of both dimensions of the infinite void to create an imaginary substance. This effect pulls the target out of reality, instantly erasing everything this technique touches. If we understand and apply according to the theory of general relativity, in essence, the targets erased by decay do not die completely, but simply cease to exist in the present space dimension. It can be said that they are sent to another dimension of the universe. And finally, domain expansion. Unlimited Void. Unlimited Void is the domain of the infinite void. It entraps the target within the essence of the infinite concept. While inside the infinite void, the target is overwhelmed in an endless stream of information, causing their mind to overload and fall into a speechless, motionless state. From a scientific standpoint, Gojo Satoru places the target in a state akin to experiencing a moment advancing into the event horizon. There, the concept of time ceases to exist, causing the affected individual to be perpetually suspended. You do not age, nor perceive anything because, simply put, time does not exist there. So that's mostly what we know and understand about Gojo Satoru's abilities. Other factors such as physical strength, speed, reflexes, intelligence, or close combat skills are no longer up for debate, when he himself is considered the strongest in the world of sorcerers. Through the anime series, we have witnessed the terrifying and ruthless absolute dominance of Satoru to what extent. So you can judge for yourself how formidable he is. Gojo Satoru is truly a formidable character, not only within the Jujutsu Kaisen series, but entirely comparable to other powerful characters in the world of anime. The true limit to his strength remains a mystery, and perhaps the only one who can accurately measure Satoru's power at this point is Sukuna alone. Let's continue to look forward to the next developments in the manga to see if a showdown between the two strongest figures in their respective worlds, Satoru and Sukuna, will occur. If you enjoyed Wibu Time's video, please leave a like and share to support us. Remember to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos.